Did Citigroup's big announcement just make altcoins completely obsolete? Let's find out. Welcome back, everyone. Shout out to fellow Bitcoin pleb and Pleb Underground viewer, Mr. Business at Rarson, for tagging us in this because, hey, look at that. It's turning into our clip for the day. So here we go. At Pleb Underground, Coin Icarus, and Walton, Wendy O over here with a brain-melting discovery. Businesses use private ledgers to keep track of their financial transactions. That's right. That's exactly right. Now let's take a look at that tweet from Wendy. And I just want to preface this. This is not a personal attack in any way, shape, or form. What this does have to do with, though, is the shitcoin influencers that constantly try to get you to buy the narratives that shitcoins are going to go somewhere. So obviously, when you've spent your entire career, right, shilling shitcoins and getting paid a lot for it, well, to a certain extent, it's going to start to look really bad when, of course, every single thing you've been shilling starts to completely fall apart because the legacy system, which already has the moat and the state-backed violence, can simply just turn it off. And again, right, that's the difference between Bitcoin. One of the differences between Bitcoin and shitcoin. Anyways, enough with my rhetoric. Let's dive into Wendy's tweet, and then we're going to take a look at an article that gives us a little bit more details about this. So from Wendy, she said, I think it's super cute at Citibank can legally use their own private blockchain while all of crypto is under attack by the SEC in America for being transparent and public. So this is most likely, if you're buying that narrative that Wendy just gave, number one, you don't understand equities. Okay, you don't understand how companies issue shares. That's the first part. Second part is you don't understand that your altcoins have absolutely no contract in any way, shape, or form, no enforceable contract in any way, shape, or form tied to them. So you are indeed buying pure vaporware. It is pure hopium. Okay, like that's all it is. It is fake money issued by a company, okay, in order to fund their endeavors. Now, if they wanted to do this legitimately, they would have gone and they would have tried to become a publicly traded company and issued shares where shareholders have legal recourse against the company. There are strings attached. When you're dealing with shitcoins, there are no strings attached. Anyway, so it's just funny that she thinks that crypto is under attack by the SEC in America for being transparent and public. They're not being transparent and public because if they were, let me rephrase that, they are public, but they are not being transparent because if they were transparent, they would explain that the issuing authorities of these tokens, okay, in no way, shape, or form owe you anything, and that you have no legal recourse against them if this thing turns out to blow up or be a complete scam. No legal recourse, but they're not going to tell you that because they need you to buy their shitcoin so that they could fund their operations. Anyways, let's dive into it. This is obviously one of the big problems with shitcoins. Let's dive into this article, though. Citibank revolutionizes banking with Citi token services. Now, keep in mind, Citibank isn't actually creating, they're not going to be creating new tokens out of thin air the way that shitcoiners do. They are going to be using supposedly, right? They're going to be using an internal blockchain where they are essentially issuing the assets as digital assets. That's all it is. It's not the same thing at all. It isn't the same thing at all. It's not like all of a sudden Citi is going and creating Citi B token that you're going to go and pay everything with because Citi makes their own money. I mean, yeah, of course, banks print their own money in a way, but they're not making their own shitcoin, so to speak. What they are doing is creating a network. Very, very different. Anyways, let's continue. Citibank, the powerful banking institution, which will complete the conversion of its customers' deposits. Let me repeat that again. Complete the conversion of its customer deposits. Not creating some brand new shitcoin, just simply converting the format. I know that Wendy won't end up watching this, and I frankly couldn't give a shit. But to the shitcoiners that I can actually save from getting wrecked, you'll appreciate it because it's completely different. Citi is not issuing some brand new shitcoin. They are converting current customer deposits into digital tokens. Not the same thing. Anyways, enabling them to be sent globally in real time. Citibank has launched its token service known as Citi Token Services as part of a broader initiative to provide digital assets to institutional clients. This innovative product will transform customer deposits into digital tokens that can be instantly transmitted around the world. Again, not issuing a new asset, converting an existing asset from one format to another. Kind of like the same way that like if you pay somebody in cash or if you write them a check, right? It's two different formats of the same money, and they both have similar qualities but not the same qualities. But they both represent the same thing. The development of Citi Token Services is part of our journey to provide real-time, always-on, next-generation transaction banking services to our institutional clients. That all sounds wonderful, doesn't it? As for Citigroup's new offering, the company will rely on a private blockchain owned and operated by the bank itself, as officially stated. That's right. So just to be clear, to all the people that are holding a bunch of shitcoin bags that think the banks are going to use my token, no, they're not. This is what I've been telling you guys from the beginning. This is what I've said for years. They are not going to be using some shitcoin. Okay, so they're not going to pump your bags. They are going to pump their own bags. And this is one of the reasons that you should stay away from all of these ridiculous grifts. Because at the end of the day, as much as we hate the legacy system, they have the moat and they have the power. So you can scream and shout all you want about your shitcoin and your freedom. Doesn't have the moat, doesn't have the violence backing it, doesn't have the state, doesn't have shit. Okay? So you're not winning this war. That's not what's happening here. The legacy banking system is going to destroy your shitcoins. That's all that's going to happen. This means that customers will not have to set up their own digital wallets, but will instead be able to access the service using existing banking systems. That's right, guys. So if you are a Citi customer, you will just, you're not going to have to go and set up some wallet and everything because this is all custodial. This is all custodial. They're just keeping the same thing going. And let's face it, right? Nobody wants to go and learn something brand new. It's so much more comfortable to just, fall in line and do what I know best. All that's changed is the format. That's all. This new initiative comes after Citigroup participated in a months-long test with a regulated network in collaboration with the unit of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York and other global banks. Think of the FedNow system, right? Which we've covered several times in clips before, and I'll put links. I'll put a link to that in the at the end of this clip. That test allowed banks to simulate the issuance of digital currency representing their customer funds before settling reserves at the central bank via a distributed ledger. The result showed that so-called digital US dollars can significantly improve wholesale payments without compromising the legal treatment of deposits. Because at the end of the day, all they give a shit about is control and tracking. So at the same time, JP Morgan Chase is exploring the idea of blockchain-based digital deposit token to speed up cross-border payments and settlements. Yeah. So look, it's like you guys know you guys know what my incentives are. I am a Bitcoiner, so obviously I'd love to sit there and be like, yeah, they're going to use the Bitcoin. Of course, they're not going to use the Bitcoin network. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not going to buy and hold Bitcoin, right? That doesn't mean that they're not going to go and tout Bitcoin, right, in order to sell you their shitcoin. But what it does mean is that, again, they are going to use their own private network that they control. And anything they issue, they will control, which means they will not be using your shitcoin. Okay? That's what that means. They're going to make and use their own. And if they're not going to make their own shitcoin, they're going to make and use their own network, just like FedNow has done. Although they've developed much of the necessary infrastructure, the creation of such tokens will be subject to regulatory approval. Citigroup is also bringing digital offerings to an industry long plagued by paper and manual procedures, focusing initially on trade finance. When a carrier refuels, Citigroup issues a letter of credit to the fuel supplier, who then presents it to the bank to obtain payment. By implementing smart contracts, which automatically execute contracts when predefined conditions are met, transactions can be processed much faster, eliminating the need to handle paper documents. Again, not touching your shitcoin. Right? They're going to use and leverage the smart contract technology, but they're going to build this shit in-house. They want control. They have no control when they're using a third party. Sorry, let me rephrase that. They have a varying degree of control, which is not complete when they're using a third party. Citigroup has also conducted tests of this new service in collaboration with a channel authority and AP Moller-Maersk, one of the world's largest shipping companies. That's right. I mean, if you've ever been to a shipyard, you've definitely seen Maersk containers, and they're usually tagged up pretty bad. Anyways, the pilot project demonstrated that the bank can instantly transfer tokenized deposits to suppliers based on smart contracts. Mary Laurie Martin, Regional Treasury Manager for the Americas at Maersk, said the following: "We are thrilled to have collaborated with Citi in the successful pilot testing of the collateral solution using digital tokens and smart contracts. This innovative solution offers promising prospects for the trade finance sector." I'm seeing at the same time, I'm seeing some other news, right? Again, people are trying to bring up this old FUD about essentially the FedNow system using XRP and all this stuff. Guys, look, I know you want to believe this, right? I know you want to believe that this is somehow going to pump your bag, but it's not, okay? There is nothing tying that token to any type of value creation, value retainment, anything like that, okay? That's number one. Number two, the ISO 20022 standard that these XRP proponents keep talking about is an open standard, okay? So if I decided to create a shitcoin, okay, I could build it according to that standard, and then I could also lie to people and say, hey, the government is going to use my shitcoin because I'm using the ISO 20022 standard. Anybody can build to that standard, and that is exactly what the FedNow system did. And sadly, a lot of these shitcoiners are trying to get you to believe that somehow XRP is going to be used by the FedNow system. Now, in the case, right, in the case that somehow the Federal Reserve would end up using that token, why do you think that it would accrue value for you exactly? Like, think about it. They'd be using it in a closed system to pay each other between financial institutions the way SWIFT does right now. So let's say SWIFT has a token. Are you making money off of it? Is your SWIFT token value going up? Of course it's not. SWIFT is a network. All of the money that they make accrues to SWIFT. That's all. Okay. And this would be the same thing. All the money would accrue to Ripple Labs. And you, as a token holder, would have absolutely no access to that value. Why? Because it's not shares of the company. It's just a worthless token that they created out of thin air in order to fund their operations. There is no reason except for pure hype and speculation for that thing to gain in value. And of course, because that's the only reason, it will never retain, hold, and continue to grow that value. So, guys, these people, they absolutely have to shill you these shitcoins. They need you to believe that somehow this stuff is worthwhile. That's how they get you to separate yourself from your Bitcoin. None of these institutions are going to use your shitcoin. And the reality is that every single article that comes out, I end up doing a clip on it, and it proves the point more and more. FedNow is not using XRP. Citibank, not using a shitcoin. Okay? Go take a look at what about Fidelity, right? Fidelity's been dealing with digital assets for almost 7 years. They haven't used one shitcoin network. Guys, I know you want to believe it. I know, it's like I was there. I held these bags. I was certain if I just held them long enough, not worth it. Okay? you're just being scammed. And the problem is that the longer you hold it, the more the sunk cost bias sinks in, and the harder and harder it becomes for you to realize that this is vaporware. Anyways, to each their own. Everybody's going to do whatever it is that they're compelled to do. That was the clip for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Help us grow the channel. Catch you guys all tomorrow.